I am going live.
Hi, hello.
So, hello team, how are you? Today, remember, we are in the meet for the contributors today, but we are also streaming this more or less live for the other contributors. Let me paste the address on the Discord. Where are you, Discord? So, who else is still not in the meeting? Hello, Dan.
Hello, how are you?
Oscar is still at the class. He's not going to show us the camera. Shiven, where is your camera? I don't see you. Your mic is closed.
Yeah, I'm joining back in just a minute with my tab because there's some issue with my battery of my laptop.
Okay.
So it will be up for a minute or two. I'll be coming back.
Okay. So still other persons. Moi, open your camera for a second, if you can. Moises is busy. Today we have with us mentor Moises Martinez. He's a Google developer expert in machine learning and artificial intelligence. He's been with us for many years, and he's just attending, but with another meeting on top. So here is 4 p.m. India is just 8:30.
It is 7:30.
7:30. I didn't remember the summer time. So here still people is at work. So I'm gonna start sharing the slides and let's start the meeting. Okay, I think it's better now.
Yeah, before that, Andrew, I had a question.
What's going on?
Yeah, it's Shiven. I had a question.
Yeah, go.
Yeah, has my project been changed? Like you wrote that in the screenshot, changed to Gemma.
If it's changed, what? Your project is to Gemma, yes. What's the problem?
Initially, see, I had my proposal on Grok and on the website as well. I saw that it was on Grok, so I was presuming that I had to work on Grok. And yesterday, in the email you sent, I saw that it was not Grok, it was Gemma. So I'm just confirming here. I'll be working on Gemma.
Actually, this is something we have to talk outside this meeting, okay? It's not something we have to discuss. I understand your point. Let's gonna have a short meeting after this with you and your mentor at this Vedan, I think. Okay.
All right, that should be fun.
Okay, so the question is, let's gonna go for this. Today meeting is specific for the AI projects. We are gonna talk about a few questions and general questions. And for the meet. Okay. Hey, showing faces. We are starting the meets. You maybe you are there. All of them, we are there. So multiple meetings are happening now in the bonding period. Okay. So also, as you can see, I hope you have noted, we have also the other listener and contributors that will start at the end of June on the projects. The last row with from Vertica to Pablo. Close your mic, Shiven. It's making a loop. So things that to start before the AI thing is when I'm attending, the other mentors attending the preliminary bonding period meetings, we are saying the typical trouble. I explain to you all this thing, but you have to note it and act on this. So think about this year, we want to take this as a 2-month project. And the last month has to be for documentation and Play Store upload. Plenty of the different meets are happening now in the bonding period. Still, students or contributors have the project, I would say, a little bit bad formatted. Mentors and contributors are taking care, but I wanted to remind all of you this. I say remind because we have talked about this for the last many meetings. So the point is that we need that the last month is not for coding. It will be for coding because maybe you have some problems, some last minute issues and so on, but we don't want it to be real for coding. So you have to adjust the word for the very first 2 months and then leave the last month for the documentation, videos, Play Store upload and so on. And remember, my question is because this is in caps letter, so we have to test in the JDA Liquid Galaxy Lab. We have to test your application in the real world, in a real Liquid Galaxy. So we need to test it fully to be able to load it to the Play Store. If we have not tested your project because you're late, you will not be approved as GSoC and you will not get paid. And we don't want never this situation to happen. This is why I am always pressing you to remember our calendar. Our calendar, one thing is the GSoC calendar, another question is our calendar. Our calendar. I think we have said this in many meetings. And please, if you have any question, stop me, raise your hand or stop me, no problem. And let's comment on this because these things are very, very important. You know, the calendar is one of the most important things. This is the reason why we have the bonding period meetings, because it's very important. If you don't arrive to a calendar goal, a calendar date, you can have problems. So we don't want this to happen. Okay, no questions? Fantastic. Let's review again, another time, in a fast way, our calendar. I'm saying the Liquid Galaxy project calendar. That is parallel to the GSoC calendar, but it has many more entries. So from July 2, I'm talking about July, so this is 1 month and a few days after you have started. We need to have every Monday a compilation of your application in our own folder that you have with us, with the name, application name, date, the month, and version of the application, because we're going to be continuously testing your applications for you to reach the objectives of yourself and the project. And just in July 4, for example, the application has also to be connected to the JDA Liquid Galaxy Lab, meaning that your application has to have the connection to the Liquid Galaxy running. This year, this has to be easier. Why? Because all of you that have been chosen has the knowledge already on how to connect the Liquid Galaxy, because you already have done an application that you connected to the Liquid Galaxy. This is not going to be a problem. Other years, the students, contributors have to learn this. This year, you have already done that, so you have to have the knowledge. It will be easy. The point is that from July 4, we have to have all your application, and we have to test it against a real Liquid Galaxy. This does not mean that the application has to be completely done. No, I'm talking about starting of July. Maybe it's something like 4 icons and 4, I will 30% of the application, 50, but it has to be an application that it's able to run and connect to the Liquid Galaxy. July 9, you have to deliver your midterm video, the demo. July 10 is when we and Google evaluate, and I hope you all do, and then you continue to the second term and you get paid by Google, more or less the half of your income. July 13 will be the day we launch the demo. Okay, it will be pre-recorded, not live. August 8, and I'm jumping a month. In August 8, your application has to be almost developed, because we are going to start to upload the applications to the Play Store. We will upload the application in beta, but it has to be almost finished. This is the reason, because you have to tie your work to the very first 2 months, not leaving it for the third month, okay? Because the process to upload the application to the Play Store and testing is usually complicated. Students, contributors do not have a real Liquid Galaxy system at home. There will be again the slide in the following slides. And as you don't have a real system, you cannot test it for real. And you think that in your perfect virtual environment, with your virtual machines, with your virtual network, with your virtual everything, and then when we connect to a real Liquid Galaxy, everything is broken and it's not working. So this is the reason why we need that time. So, and I say that as we are going to upload to the Play Store, we will need also that you have developed the content needed to upload your application to the Play Store. And these contents will be something I will send you an email with a document we have that explains that for you to upload an application to the Play Store, we need some screenshots, some text, some. It's a matter of 1 hour work, nothing else. Also, one thing we will do this year in August is that we are gonna do a self demoing of everyone's code. Every week, every day of the week, one contributor will have a streaming with their own code. He or she will explain to our community in public, but we will pre-recorded videos. Will explain their own code. This is something we have thought for this year, just to be more transparent to the community on the way we code the things. But all of this will be communicated to you when it's needed. I'm just simply making you remember again the calendar. So August 8 to August 23 is almost all the money is to not too much code and solving the errors and publishing to the Play Store. And August 20 is the last day for deliver your demo day video, and this will be a mixed thing as demo day is going to be 24 of August. Please mark in your calendars, everyone, 24 of August, 16:00 p.m. Central European Summer Time, because this day all of you have to be there. We will run your pre-recorded demo video. We will run another real live video with a real Liquid Galaxy we'll do in the laboratory, and then we will interact with questions with the mentors in the presentation. This is the reason, because it's going to be live, pre-recorded and live, so you have to stay on the meet and be ready to answer questions. Maybe Josh is not the mentor of Mahinur, and Josh sees something in their code that he wanted to ask Mahinur, and all the mentors can interact with all the students, all the contributors, so you have to stay there. Any questions on this? No? Super. So August 25, everything has to be done, including your APK published in the store. You will not be the one that publish the application. Us from the Liquid Galaxy, we will be the Liquid Galaxy Lab, where but you will be the person that creates the data we need. Previously, it has to be tested in your home and in our laboratory, and so on. GitHub totally updated, documentation, GitHub README or whatever method, or workload totally updated, and the link of the Play Store application. August 26, we will have the a new also for this year LG streaming GSoC experiences that will be recorded. You will send this video next to the last demo day, and on August 26, GSoC ends. The next week, the mentors evaluate your performance, and we send to Google the results, and on September 3, Google will announce what are the final contributors that have succeed with the project, and so if they succeed, they will get the other, I would say, 40-60% of the remaining money. Questions? Fantastic. Mentors, Josh, Vedana, if you want to add something, you are free to do it. So let's start to see things that are happening now. I don't want to name people, but I'm starting to receive that kind of emails. My university has exams for those days. Okay, fantastic. Everyone can have movements on their personal agenda because the university, because thing happens, life happens, disease or familiar, whatever person we can have. But the thing is that Google cannot move their calendar. We as community, we can move a bit or dates, but Google will not move their own bits. Google knows that we are contributors from all around the world. So imagine that they have to adopt the GSoC periods to every university in the world. It's simply impossible because every university in the world has different agenda. For example, Ryan, when do you start university here in Canada?
For summer, it already started, but for fall, it starts in like September 7th-ish. Yeah.
September 7th-ish starts usually.
Yeah.
We have some people from US that starts at the first week of August. So Rohit, for example, your university, when they start classes?
On August, in July.
In July. So
Like our placements
so you have
will be
classes
starting
all
from
the
the next
summer.
month itself. Not all the classes. Like we are in the 4th year, so we didn't need to go that much classes.
Okay, of course, but
Basically,
you have some
we are
classes
having
on
our
the summer.
placements.
You have some.
Yeah.
So
We have some classes.
that's the way that's the thing I'm trying to explain to you, that everyone has their own agenda because the world is big and there are many universities and many training formalities. But Google has one agenda for everyone, and those days are not mobile. So those are so tight. And also another question is that Google pays you for a minimum hours every day. If you have the project, most of you have 350 hours. It means that minimum you have to allow 6 hours every day, every work day for the project, minimum. And we will know that because every week your mentor will review your work, and also we will read your workload and many other things we have to control that, and you have to be working. So at some moment, if you need some time because there are so reasons and so on, you have to adjust your delivery dates with your mentor. And also I have to be on the communication as always. But remember, Google will not allow major changes. So think about this. You are the ones that have been selected. You are the ones that know that the agenda is this way. So please adjust your life to the agenda, because if not, we can have problems. More reminders. As always, not all the meets, not all the emails are CCing Liquid Galaxy Lab and me. And this is a must. Remember, all the emails sent, all the meets have to have these two addresses on the invited. Another question, if you are still sending in a bad shape the name of the meets, the weekly meets. The weekly meets are responsibility of the mentor. Sometimes it's the contributor what does that, but remember, in the meet you have to include at least GSoC project name, because if not, we have dozens of meets for GSoC and for other questions that we have in our own works or life, and then it's a mess, no? Someone says, I don't know, very, very strange name. So please remember, GSoC project name, and then whatever you want, but every meet has to have this word, okay? Videos have to be recorded in landscape, not portrait, horizontally. And remember, we are a team of something like 50 people in between the 12 contributors and the many mentors and the listener mentors and so on. So we need order. Please follow the rules. What else? So we have changed the name for this because we call those persons that have not been selected this year but still wanted to collaborate. They will attend as listener contributors. We have changed the name from listener mentors because this way they seem to be mentors, but they are not. They are listener contributors. From every week that you have, every meet that you have and every week after GSoC starts in a few days, you have the mentors or whatever person is the one arranging the weekly meet have to include these names on the meets. Okay, for every project. Not for all the projects, because I see that Oscar and David projects have no persons interested on their project, so bad luck. So, for example, in Mahinur projects is Vertica, in Siddhar projects are the Panamit, Ryan projects is Lucia. So the mentor has access to this Google Sheet, and in this Google Sheet they have the email address, and those persons have to be added to the weekly meets. The only difference, remember, is that the listener contributors, they can attend the meet, but the meet is between you and your mentor. Those persons are just only here listening to understand how the process works and maybe to try to apply for next year. Understood? What else? Thank you to Deb and Pablo that are listener contributors. That they try to be selected, but sadly they cannot. And they are starting to send us logos. Logos are only for those projects. And as this year we have several projects that are the same, but with a slight difference on what is the model that we use and so on, you will see that we have the same logo for different projects with the difference of Gemma or Gemini or Grok or whatever. So remember that this logo is the official logo. Still, there are other logos remaining. And this has to be included in all your documentation, in all the videos, all the APKs, and everything where you are going to be talking about your project. So still, there are not all the logos for all the videos, for all the projects. If you yourself want to make your own logo, please, you can make it. Send it to me, and I will review it and approve or telling you what changes we want, because the logos have to be in a way we like them. What else? Also, on all the artificial intelligence projects, you have to include this logo. When I say in the logo, I mean in the different logos you will add, not in the logo of the project. I mean, you will have to add also this Build with AI project. That is the logo that Google is telling us to include when we have done something with AI this year. Okay, and also, of course, the project with the Liquid Galaxy AI. We have the new Liquid Galaxy AI logo. It has to be included. Regarding the logos, it's easy. You will have a drawer with all the logos for every project. So it seems to be a mess now, but we deal with this from the organization. Every project will have a drawer that you can access to it, and it says Siddhar's project. You have to include this. Shivan projects. You have to include this. Okay, so it seems to be difficult now, but it will be easy later. What else? Oh, this news. Vedan, go ahead, explain.
Okay, so there's a great news. Me and mentor Yash, we are setting up Liquid Galaxy labs, AI labs at our universities, both our respective universities. So there will be 2 AI labs in the future. And yes, that's about it. That's the good news.
Very good news. So I added the AI in the middle. You notice? Maybe as this is hype now, maybe it will be nice to add it. And we can do projects without AI, but we can still say AI labs. It will be nicer. And read the last phrase. I will read it. So maybe you are interested in create your own lab in your university or place where you are. So if you want and you have interest, it's not a simple thing. Believe me, it's not simple, but it's doable. And if you have interest, so please contact me and we will have a meet. I will explain what are the specific characteristics of this initiative. So thank you, Yash, mentors Yash and Vedan. Okay, remember, you are working with a virtual Liquid Galaxy. You have seen at this time 10 times this slide, and Mahinur 20 because she was with us last year, so she knows very well how this works. So you are going to work at home with another totally different environment that a real Liquid Galaxy. So remember this. This is the reason, because we need to have access to your code early just to test in the real environment. And you have to remember that your software is going to work there. If it's an application, it will be running also on the right side of the slide under the Liquid Galaxy AI server. But the point is, everything will have to run in a regular Liquid Galaxy environment. Okay, just a reminder. Another question: have you seen Google I/O? Mahinur, the Google Congress made last week?
No, not yet.
Nothing. You have seen nothing of the Google I/O.
And I heard about the event, but I haven't.
Oh, what a bad, very bad. Okay, I understand. Manas.
I have not seen it entirely, but I have gone through some highlights, like the fast LLM which they have launched, and this Gemma 2 as well.
When you say snippets, you mean news from webs or pieces of video?
Yes, from articles.
From article. So, good. Ryan, what about you?
I've never heard of it until just now.
You never. You say never. About Google I/O, the Congress. No.
I might have heard of it, but I've never actually looked into
Everyone
it.
that is on the technical world has to listen at least that this is 6. So never is a few. It's short. Rohit, what about you?
Yeah, I was going through this Google I/O and heard about like the Android. What are the major changes in Android and also in the Flutter. Also, I've heard about the Pali Gemma, which is recently launched, and it is a lightweight Gemma model, and might be used in future.
Please
for fine-tuning.
explain it. You are not talking. Explain it a little bit more. I have passed those
No,
three different.
I just went through the topic. Not haven't read all the things.
No, but the point is this one, that they presented 2 things that I think they presented hundreds of different news, but they presented 2 things that are interesting for our project. One is that they are going to release in June another Gemma model, Gemma 2, with 27 billion parameters. That's 20 billion more parameters than the actual one that is 2 or 7. So 27 billion parameters. It will be a very large model from Google, but open. Remember, that's the difference. Open. Gemini is larger, but this will be open. And also they launched this version of Gemma that called Pali, that is very specialized on the using the multi-mode capabilities. So Gemma before only worked with text, and now works also with vision. That's very important. We will talk about this thing after. Shivan, do you see something related to the Google I/O?
No, I haven't yet. I wasn't able to do the
So it's good to know, because this is something important. Then you are listening now. Siddhar, what about you? Siddhar.
No, I haven't seen the Google I/O.
I am, to be true, I'm pretty strange with you guys. Let me ask Mr. Yash. Yash, what about you?
Yeah, so I saw some shorts and articles. I got to know about the Android and also about the Gemma 2. So that's about it.
Yes, definitely, I've seen it.
You've seen
when
it.
it was live.
You saw the Congress.
Yes, I did.
What do you see?
So I saw Pali Gemma. I saw the demo where they take the camera and try to detect speakers and
Where
other
are my
objects.
sunglasses? Where are my glasses?
Exactly, yes.
Okay. So I was saying that I am strange you were not there, but also in the other side, that's good, because you still didn't know about Google I/O, so I know now about Google I/O. Google I/O is the Congress Google has every year, around May, and it's for presenting their news. So they presented these two things with hundreds of other situations, products, and so on. Okay, what else? So let's gonna have a brief presentation from every person. This is just for remaining. Let's go start from Maginor. Maginor, 1 minute. If you have slides, you can share the slides, or maybe you want to present it personally.
No, I don't have slides.
No,
so
you can go. Talk.
Okay. So my project is the AI-based touristic information tool for LG, and it's going to be using Gemma locally. And I'm planning on using as the endpoint to integrate Gemma with Flutter, Flask in Python. So I'm going to do the endpoint in Flask and then integrate this endpoint in Flutter to be able to interact with the post and GET request. And I'm also going to use Docker to be able to put the Flask app into the Docker image to be able to push it into the Docker registry. And it can then be pulled and added into the AI server in Liquid Galaxy ADA Lab. And then I'll get the remote IP address and be able to call it in my Flutter application. So, and I'm also going to be focusing more on the prompt engineering because the Gemma 2 billion parameter might not give good results. So I have to focus on the prompt engineering to be able to obtain the best results. And also I want to say that in the last few days, I have downloaded Gemma locally and I have tried to obtain the output. And it gave me a structure of JSON format as I told it. But still, I have to work also in the prompt engineering part more to be able to let it give me more accurate replies. So I guess this is it for my application.
Also, I think you are gonna use some special middleware.
What can you say again?
You are gonna use some middleware, some special tool, no? You have 3 slides later to talk about this.
You mean about LangChain or?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So I was going to explain more about LangChain at the end. Do you want me to explain now or?
No. I just want a presentation, but I think that it's important that you're gonna use LangChain, and we're gonna have a short discussion, maybe 0, but we're gonna have a discussion with this. And I wanted just to introduce. Let's go to Manas. Manas, I'm following the order on my screen.
Yes. So I'm audible.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically in my project, what I'm going to do is, whichever the city is searched for by the user, I'll be creating historical, cultural, and geographical data for it using Gemma, and this Gemma will be Dockerized and run on the AI server. Then I can use Flask APIs for getting inference on the app. So before Dockerizing the model, I'll be fine tuning it. For that, I have already created a data set of about 4,500 cities, of which I've collected all the data which I have specified earlier, and that I will use to fine tune it and to get better responses. And also there is also use of narration purpose here, so that still has to be decided. Like, should I go with DeepGram or Bark AI, etc.
We are going to talk about those 2 things, about the training and about the voices, but later. Now let's listen to Ryan, because he's the guy with the voices. Ryan.
Yeah, so I've looked into various models for voice to text and text to voice, and I've demoed one of them before in one of my YouTube presentations. And I think we might definitely need to communicate with my mentor for like confirmation. But there are various models, and you might try to go with like a Google Cloud AI because they have one for voice to text and they have one for text to voice as well. So I'll be using different APIs to for the whole process of voice to voice integration, and to try to provide ways for accessibility for users, and to also try to get to integrate everything from maybe past applications and maybe future applications for Liquid Galaxy as well. But, yeah.
Okay, again, we are going to have a special slides talking about this later. Rohit.
So my project is getting it is a travel itinerary generator for where I will take the city from the user, or he can also put what are the places he want to visit. For example, if he want to visit some north places or southern places, so in that scenario, we'll be sending it to the Grok API, and after the generating the responses from there, and then we will be putting that in KML and then exploring the different places. Also, I have explore a little like he can also escape the places if he want in between. And for the AI, for the uh, speaking and like for text to speech, we'll be using Bark AI model or some of the like Flutter packages for that also. So that's
good. Oscar is in class, he cannot talk. Shivan.
Well, I haven't prepared for the Gemma one yet. I'll be talking about the Grok one that I had prepared previously. Okay, so in that, I'll be using the Grok's API. So what will basically happen is through the voice or text user will be inputting where he wants to go and how what kind of places he wants to go. Let's say it can be crowdy places, it can be quiet places and such. And based on that, the Grok would be generating an itinerary, and that itinerary would be visible on the LG screens as well as the user screens. And for that, I would be using like Flutter's inbuilt library for speech to text and Grok's Bark API for text to speech. And apart from that, I'll be also using Google Maps to show wherever the user is going. Like the same story I'll be showing on the LG, I'll be showing that on the Google Maps as well, side by side. And the product and the results would include other details such as what are the main features of that places and all the details that I have fetched for one user in one story. All those details would be savable and editable. And user, if he wants to, he can add it to his Google Calendar as well.
Nice. Siddhar.
My project is Gemini based AI touristic tool. So it will have some features like budget planning or like finding tourist spots, like if someone like mountainside or like hilly area, so you can input like what type of places you want to visit, and the Gemini AI API will give responses. And if user likes the places, he can also save them locally, and then there will be some accessibility features also, like voice commands or text to speech also.
Good. So, thank you for your presentations. Let's gonna continue. Let's go deep in every question. This is gonna be fast and with big letters. Fine tuning? No. Manas, I'm saying you. No. Okay, this is not right. No, unless you do that in the bending period or on your own time, not in GSoC time. So because fine tuning is so time consuming, it's also CPU consuming. You need hardware to do that. And results, of course, if you fine tune a model, this is perfect, but there is a lot of work. So for us, it's not the goal of your projects to do fine tuning. So at some point, if your projects are used by other persons in the world, we hope so, they can fine tune the model and adapt it to their specific needs. But it's not our work. Of course, for example, Manas is doing that now in the bonding period. He wants to know. He has done already some investigation of several cities in the world. That's fantastic. That's great. Thank you, Manas. But on the GSoC period, we don't want to listen about no one of you doing fine tuning, because this is not the goal of our projects. Okay? Is it clear, guys? Yes? Okay. What else? Vedan, explain something about this. Is your name there? Tell
Yeah.
something.
Yes, so in cases where you are taking the API key from the user, so just like how you take the IP of the LG rig and the password, you have to secure the API key as well, similarly. So it should be permanent storage. You can maybe use shared preferences or something like that to use the local storage. It should be password secured as the IP and the password. of the LG rig, and it should be editable, and the user should also be able to clear it, delete it, just like you clear caches.
So when you were developing, you have to have your own key. But when we will test it in the laboratories, we will lose our own key. And when we release the code on the Play Store, there will be no key because that's the logic point. We are not gonna give our key to the third parties. So please be careful with this. Very careful. Use the techniques that are specifically for this. Basically using I think it's something like using I will say a variable in your system with the key, and then calling your own system. Never inserting the key in the code. Please don't do this. Several. Let me talk about a little bit about this story. Several high-level secure systems in the world has been broken by the stupidity of some developers leaving their key inside the code. So something, for example, the PlayStation was broken because at some point the DVD encryption was broken because at some point a guy that developed a software to play DVDs on a PC leave the key inside their code. So that's very tragic. So please don't do this. Questions on this? Is there any question on this? No? Sure? Fantastic. Rohit, go ahead.
So I have a question. Let's say if another user try to get our application, so does he have to put his own API key, or we have to provide some interface where he can add his API key or something like that?
Here are two questions, Rohit. Or you haven't listened anything of what Mentor Vedant has explained, or you're living in another world, because this is written in our slide, and this is what Mentor Vedant has explained. You don't have to offer to third parties your keys. Your keys are your keys, not every other key. So when you develop your application at your home, you use your own keys. When we will be testing in Liquid Galaxy Lab Lleida, we will our own keys. And when we release the application, the user that wants to use this will have to have their own key. Is not clear?
Got it. Yeah.
So for this, you have to have in your own application some kind of maintaining and editing, and also maybe encrypting the key, because not any other person enters logs in the application, and maybe you're using a simply plain ASCII file, and you store in a place that is readable the key, and someone has access to it. So you have to maintain a little bit of an editor, just like the administration password of the Liquid Galaxy tools, that is changeable. Exactly the same for the keys. Rohit, is it clear?
Okay. Yeah, it's clear.
I think this was what Mentor Vedant explained, and also what I explained, and what is on the slide. Let's go. Improve user experience. We've been talking about this many times, and we are going to talk again. So we are asking minimum 20, and I say prompts, but I really don't want to say prompts, 20 solutions for the user when the user approach your system. Imagine that you have your Liquid Galaxy, you have a tablet, you download your application from other person downloads the application from the Play Store. You have to provide to the user 20 pre-made prompts or ways to access to your information. Because if you just simply do the thing that I will say, stupid thing of just having an empty box and say, write whatever you want here, like any of the chat box, this is stupid. So we want something more elaborate. So, for example, if Manas is working on, I am saying this because I've seen the mock-ups for Manas. If he's working with cities, he will offer something like 20 cities to start. With different kind of prompts for every city. So the user only has to click. But please, don't leave the user all the constraints of thinking about what I have to do with this application. How do I have to use just show the user, for the user pre-made prompts or whatever solution is for the application that like a demo, no, not one, many demos that the user just has to click, launch the application and click and see how the system works. So, and also if you can, you have to have the answer stored on the APK. I write AAB. You remember that from a couple of years ago, there are no longer APKs. Those have to be AAB packages to load the application to the Play Store. So, for example, if you have to, this is something related to the Ryan project. If you have to answer to create a voice with a third-party API that it can be local in the Liquid Galaxy artificial intelligence system or maybe in the cloud, if the user has to wait for the answer, for example, if you ask now for last year Vedant's project for something to be generated with a Bark API that is local, maybe you have to wait something like 15 seconds. And this is bad for the user. So the user has to know two things. The user has to know what's happening, and this is what I'm saying in the last phrase. You have to show to the user a progress bar. For the user know what's happening now. You are launching the request to the API is thinking, the API gives back you the answer, you are generating the whatever result. You have to show this information to the user because at this time, there are things that are, I would say, slow. If you're going to use Grok, who's the one going to be using Grok? I don't remember. Shiven, you are the one going to use Grok. So Grok is usually faster than the others. Last week demonstrations from OpenAI with ChatGPT 4o was faster, but this is not real because it does not exist for now. Not exist for now. So if you do something local in your LAN with the artificial intelligence server with Gemma, for example, it will take, I will say, some time. If you do something for Bark, it will take some time, but at least have some pre-made voices or results or whatever. This way, the user has not to wait for the answer to be running the application, to be running. I want to listen from you that you're understanding me. I think this is, I'm explaining it clearly, but also this happens that maybe the user does not have one APK. So if the user stands in front of your project and they don't have, this person does not have an APK, or the place where the Liquid Galaxy is located do not have a public APK and they load it, the user then cannot use your system. So the question is that you also insert in your bundle, in your AAB, insert some results. This way the user can get a glimpse of what is going to do your application. Rohit, question.
No, I've raised hand because I'm the one who is going to use the Grok API.
No, but this is not a one thing. I mean, some of you are also Ryan. I mean, it's not a one thing, one person thing. No. So Shiven is going to use, yes, Shiven is going to use Gemma, sorry. You are going to use Grok, and Ryan is also going to use Grok, in the sense that he's making a top-level research and application, and he will be using Grok or any other APIs. You're right, Rohit. But every one of you know what's going on. And after this meeting, Shiven, Vedant, and me, we will stay here and talk about his project, okay? So I want to listen from you. Do you understand me about this question? This is a very important question because it's about the user experience. So if a user stands in front of your project and has to wait 30 seconds for an answer, this is sad. I'm not going to share it publicly because it's a bad thing. So have some pre-made prompts, have some results of those prompts already loaded in your bundle, and also inform the user how is the progress of the whatever is doing your code, reaching external API, a local API, generating or whatever. Because if not, the user stands there, and if it's something like 10 to 15 seconds, the user will leave the application and we will go to another question. Is it clear? You say yes. Say yes, Siddhar. Yes. Okay, any other question on this? Yes, do you want to add something?
I just want to add, it is very important to have these progress bars. Just add the percentage also, like what percentage is completed, so the user knows that it is getting filled up in a way that it is loading. So it would be a better effect for user experience.
Sometimes you can have a percentage, sometimes you cannot, because you also don't know how much it's going to take, but at least you try to give a question, an answer to the user, what's going on and what is the situation at this moment. But then, if you want, you can interrupt at any moment. Let's go for the next slide. Duplicated features? No. What is that? Think about that. We have several projects this year for artificial intelligence, and some of you choose the same project. This happens with Rohit and Shivan. But what we are going to do is that every of you have a different approach to the project, and also it will be using, he or she will be using a different model. So that's the point. So, but we will have to know, and we already know because we have your proposals, but we will be continuously testing your applications, and at a moment, if you two suddenly have the same, I will say, functionality, we will get rid of it. I mean, we don't want to have two projects doing exactly the same thing. It's going to be difficult because you are not working together. So unless you copy, you're not going to copy. It's not going to happen. But so expect that at some moment we can modify your, we will ask you to modify your code. Because, for example, two projects that are Gemini-based, AI-based touristic tool, Siddhar and Mahinur. So you two have different ideas and different proposals. But at some point, imagine you do something very, very similar. We don't want this to happen. We will inform you, okay? We will inform you. Because it's easy to call an API, get the results, convert those results to KML, and this will be boring. So we really have to explore the how to present information on the Liquid Galaxy. In this year, we have the opportunity to make very great Liquid Galaxy visualizations, more than other years. Because it will be also a little bit harder to you, because you have to get more information from the model. In other times, in past years, maybe you have already data with the coordinates, for example. This year, if you ask the model for something, the model will not return you coordinates. You have to be clever on how to do that. So it's going to be curious. Let's continue. Explore multimodal. And as I said, Gemma has also this year the Pali thing that is going to be multimodal. In some of your projects, it's already, but if not, try to explore at some point. So, for example, open the camera and show a photo to the tablet and use this as a prompt on the touristic things. Imagine you've been on any city, and then you have a photo of the city, and you open the camera. You request permissions to the camera in the tablet, and you show the model the photo, and the model will be using multimodal, identifying what's the photo and doing something with this photo. You can also use the mic. You can play a song in the mic. Imagine you can play in a Caribbean typical music, and let the AI identify the music and refer a place to this word. Of course, you can ask questions by voice. Is that clear? I'm saying explore. In the projects that already have this as a feature, you have to do it. But if not, try to explore this. This is good for you because multimodal is also a very needed AI situation. Any question on this? Hello? No? Good. Let's continue. So the thing about AI voices. Remember that we have, for one side, you can. This is more for the Ryan project, but also most of you are going to implement voices directly. The actual implementation of the sound in the Liquid Galaxy, Ryan and colleagues, both the AI server has a speaker. We have one speaker usually in the Liquid Galaxy, and usually it's a Bluetooth speaker. It can be connected to the server, so it means that the server is the one that plays the song, or it can be connected to the tablet. It means the tablet is the one that plays the song. If you imagine you generate a wow, I think Vedant can assist us with this. Vedant, last year you generated the wow file in the server, and then you play it on the tablet. Am I right?
Yeah, yes, actually the model was generating a WAV format, but usually the mobile devices don't behave well with WAV files. So I converted it to MP3. So it will be handled in the Docker itself. So you have to handle the MP3 and it will be played on the tablet itself. Yes.
So you converted the WAV generated from the Bark model to MP3, and then you get the MP3 from the server, and then you play the MP3 on the tablet. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so, but I'm saying, Ryan, that you can do this in two ways. Maybe you can just simply use the Liquid Galaxy IL server that has a Bluetooth speaker connected also. It's a matter only that when all of you, but this is more specific for Ryan's project, all of you is implementing this, think about that you can have voices generated directly on the tablet, voices generated in the local server, and also, of course, if you are using an external API like Gemini on the cloud, you can Gemini or Gem on the cloud. You can use whatever they return to you. I don't know what they are going to return because I don't know what API are you going to be using or what is the API going to give you, but you can play it on the tablet or in the server. So the idea with Ryan's project is that around mid-July he will have some code and guidelines to introduce the voice, everything voice, whatever you have in your projects. Okay, so all of you that have already something in your proposal talking about project, when you have meeting with me or other mentors, we ask you stop the voice thing, because what we are going to play this year is a convolution talking about artificial intelligence model. Is that Ryan will do that, and at some point in the middle of GSoC, we'll give you the instructions, and you will use Ryan code specifications to implement this voice thing in whatever is synthesis or recreation, I don't know, in your own projects. But that's one thing for real. We want all the projects, AI-based projects, getting questions by voice and giving answers by voice. For this reason, with this year, we have Ryan specific project related to this. So I will say, it's not going to be work for you. The only work will be like if you receive an IPA. So Ryan will be giving you the code, and then you will implement it on your application. That's that simple. So it will be easy for you to implement. But the thing is that we have to have in all the projects, artificial intelligence projects, voices, both for the person that interacts with the system, asking questions by voice, and also receiving the answers from the whatever API used. Ryan, do you want to add something?
No, I think you answered everything. Yeah.
Fantastic. It seems that I know the lesson very well. Okay, guys. Any question on this? So it's clear. Fantastic. What's that? Josh, it's your name. You want to comment this?
Yeah, I would like to comment on this. So always showcase the prompts, the pre-prompts, the answer, the results on the Liquid Galaxy. You have the rightmost screen for showing all the balloons and all of the data. And always show the time. You know that it might take, let's say, 15 to 20 seconds for some of the result to actually convert into a data that you want to visualize. So you can have some sort of progress bar that always acts according to that time, those 15, 20 seconds. And you are just giving that feedback to the user. He is getting to know from the progress bar. So just add those user experience things that are very much needed onto the application and on the visualization part as well.
Yeah, because it's easy for you to make a research on what prompts are the better for your model, but if you send the prompt just to the model and the user gets the result, the user do not understand what's happening. So the thing is that if you have some pre-prompts made, you're generating some prompts from user input, you have also to show whatever text is on the prompt before you launch it to whatever API model you have, whatever place. You have to be informing the user what's going on in the process, the time bar of the process, and also what are you sending to the model and what is the model answering to you. Imagine that the model gives you an answer about, I'm coming back again to the Manas project, city names. So you will have to show up the city names. You will have to show the coordinates of the cities with the tour or whatever. You will also to have the opportunity to listen to artificial voices to the text. You have to show as maximum information as you can, and of course always in the tablet and in the Galaxy. Right? Let's continue. We are almost ending. So just to clarify, official models. So we are a Google community, we are not going to allow any ChatGPT there, not any other of the thousands of hundreds and millions of other models. We are only allowing Google models. So this has to be Gemma or Gemini. We allow the use of Grok only for the inference. And then when you use Grok, you can have, for the file, you will be using Gemma, but you also can add a simple menu to choose for the other models that Grok supports. That's something like 4 models they are supporting now, the typical llamas and whatever, Mistral, Llama Mistral and Gemma, and I don't remember if they support another one now. So by default, it's going to be Gemma when it's open source, or if you are going to Gemini, Gemini. And third-party models, they have to be open source always, and let's say, and we cannot use anything outside of open source because this is we are open source and we have to be attached to this. And I'm saying 1 star for the Gemini. Remember, we do not want in our community projects develop with cloud-based services. We are making an exception this year for using Gemini because this year Google is pushing the AI technology, and we as a Google community, we are also pushing and using this. But this is not in our DNA, so we don't want cloud-based services. That means paid services. But exceptionally, this year, we will allow to use the Gemini. But this is not something we will do in the future normally. And also remember, be careful with the associated costs because you are the one that's going to create your API. And it's not Liquid Galaxy who's going to pay for this. We will have our own key, you will have your own key, and when we release your application, there will be no key at all. If the user wants to use it, they will have to go to Grok or to Gemini or to whatever place and has their own key and just simply paste the key and they will be able to run the project. Is that clear? Manas, you're sleepy. Let's go. So the way we can run this on the localized server inside a Docker, Gemma, and the voices ones that Ryan will be studying. You can have them on the cloud, free with Gemma, whatever place you find, free via Grok, and I say free with quotas because at this moment Grok do not has a pay tier. Just simply they count how many access you do, and they will stop you using these calls. At some point it will be free, will be paid, but not now. And also I say paid with codes with Gemini because in most of the places at this moment it's free. Who are the one that is going to use Gemini here? Raise your hand. Shivan?
No, it's Gemma.
No, it's Gemma. No, not Gemini. I am Siddhar. You are going to use Gemini. That's true. And who else? Only you, Siddhar? Go. So
Yes.
So Gemini this is a question for you, Siddharth. Is Gemini free in India now?
It is free for some limit. After that, it will be paid per request.
And what is the limit?
It is like okay limit. I have not seen.
No, don't look for the information now. But you mean that it's something like a number of the request every time, every hour, and so on? Okay, so
every day there is some.
Let me also remember you one thing. We are a global community. In this moment, we have Canada, Egypt, Spain, and India, 4 countries, and in every country, the licenses are different. I can tell you, since 1 week ago, just before Google I/O, we do not have in Spain access to Gemini IPA. We have to go through Vertex IPA, that is Google Cloud-based console, and it was some kind of a mess. Now we have access to Gemini IPA, but it's always paid, always. But you are still in India, and I don't know if in other countries, because it's a mess. It's depends. The world is big, and they have different kinds of issues. So remember that this year we're having some kind of projects for research, but we don't know what's going to happen with artificial intelligence in 9 months. No one's know what's going to happen. So at some point, services are free. The other day are paid. The other day are free. The other day cost. It's I will say it's difficult. I don't know if you get my point. So be careful with this, with the paid instances, because using Gemini can be free or unless you make a lot of requests. But via Grok, who's going to use Grok? Rohit, you're going to use Grok. So in Grok, at this moment, they don't have a paid tier, but they will count out how many hits you do, and it depends on the hits you do, on the requests you do. They will cut you or make you wait for another hour or whatever. They don't have actually a paid tier. Still, they don't have it. So they don't have a solution with this. They just leave the users, the developers use their APIs. Any questions? No? Fantastic. So, Yash, this is you.
Yeah, so here are some prompting tips. You should first try to train it yourself. Just make it finalized for testing. First, you have to test it yourself. And for the coordinates, there would be like you have to request. Let's say there are 20 places that you already have. So those places can be just, you can just click on them. It will allow you to just visit and visualize for those places. And also to have your pre-prompts ready. So yeah, these would be some of the tips.
We'll talk a little bit more about the coordinates request. So what is the coordinates request? Yash? You want to say it, Vedan?
Yes, actually, I have an opinion on this. So there are 2 kinds of requests, right? One is direct string search, which we can search directly for Google inside the Ubuntu terminal, the Linux terminal. So I think that would be a better approach, right? Instead of grabbing the coordinates from the large language model.
So we are almost at the end. There is a discussion slide. let's leave this for a second. Any other question on this, guys? No. Okay. So, Mahinur.
Yes, so I'm going to explain briefly about LangChain. But firstly, has anyone heard about LangChain before?
Raise your hands. Like this. No. Manas knows. We don't have the camera of Shiven. Shiven, open your camera, man. We are not seeing your face. Don't be shy. Shiven, have you listened about LangChain before? Do that or do that? No, your mic is muted. Your mic is muted.
Yeah, I haven't listened much about it because I have been using prompt engineering to do all these things. So I don't have much of this information from it.
Okay, so firstly, LangChain, as it is from its name, the first part lang stands for the large language models, since it integrates every kind of large language model we have. And the second part in the name is chain, which is chaining the models with other components to make it easier for developers when they develop the large language, the application, the AI application they want to develop. So LangChain is an open source framework for development of applications, and it's available in Python and JavaScript. And next slide, please. Oh, can we move to the next slide? Yes. So this is LangChain architecture. There has been a release recently, a new release that changed the structure of LangChain totally, but the main components are still there. So I'm going to first show you the architecture of LangChain as seen in the picture. So we have, firstly, in the previous version, LangChain was only one package, and you can only install pip install LangChain. But then they divided into three main parts, or three main packages. So the first one, the LangChain one, it contains the previous release to avoid the breakage of any apps that was developed by the previous version. And then we have LangChain Community. This package is an ecosystem for third-party integrations, such as model providers, vector stores, agent tooling, and retrievals. And then we have LangChain Core, and this provides the fundamental abstractions for constructing the LLM applications. And we have two new things that weren't available in the previous release, which are Langsmith and Langserve. So what are they? Well, Langsmith acts as a unified DevOps platform for LangChain applications, streamlining the development, collaboration, testing, and deployment. It is very good for debugging, since we always face unusual things with the models. Like, for example, we have unknown errors, or we don't know what happened for the models, so it makes it easier for debugging purposes. And we also have Langserve, and Langserve simplifies the LangChain application deployment process by transferring it to REST APIs, and this enables remote user interaction via a standard web interface or integration within mobile applications like Flutter. So next slide, please. Can we move to the next step? Yes, so
sorry,
okay,
Mahinor, I have to tell something personal. This is the reason I'm delaying this. Sorry.
No problem. Okay, so I'm going to now talk to you about the main components of LangChain. So these were available in the previous release and in the new release. So in the main components are models, prompts, output parsers, chains, agents, embeddings, and vector stores, retrieval strategies. So I'm going to briefly tell you each one of them. First, the models. This component interacts with various LLM models, allowing you to integrate different models into your LangChain apps, including Google LLMs and many other LLMs like Llama and GPT models. We also have the prompts, and this makes it easier to make your own prompts and to construct and manage the prompts effectively. And we also have output parsers. So LangChain output parsers transform the raw LLM responses into structured data, making them easier to integrate and use it in downstream applications. So for example, if you want JSON format, KML structure, string format, or anything we want, it provides this in the output parsers. And we also have chains, and chains represent the sequence of predefined steps that guide the interaction with LLM model. So they offer structured approach to the LLM interaction. And we also have agents, and agents are the main thing in LangChain and what makes it very special. Because agents are decision-making components with LangChain, they can analyze the outputs from the LLM model and determine the subsequent actions or prompts. So for example, if we want the model to just make a simple calculation like 5 plus 5, so instead of just taking so much time to get the answer from its own bank of knowledge, so it just uses the agent, the calculator integration tool, to do that calculation. So it recognizes from the prompt or the input format that the user just wants a simple calculation, so it uses the calculator tool. I also have tools like API integrations, web scraping, search engines, and more. So it makes it much easier to have better and faster response. We also have embeddings and vector stores, and this component allows you to incorporate custom data and leverage vector representations for various tasks. And we have vector stores such as Quadrant, Size, RomaDP, and Pinecone. We have also a lot more. And the last thing is retrieval strategies. And retrieval strategies deal with how LangChain retrieves interpreting information from external sources. So the models are trained on their own data, but what if you want to ask the model on data that is yours? So this is an option in LangChain. So you can give it, for example, documents, databases, or any of your own relevant data, and it will convert this to embeddings and save it in the vector stores for faster retrieval later. So this is the main components of LangChain. Can we move to the next slide, please? Okay, so this is a simple example. The one on the right just uses the Google Gemini. First thing is just using the simple Gemini Pro, and the other examples for using the Gemini Pro Vision. So it can give up an image, and then it will give the output. And the example on the left, it's using the chain by using a prompt template and using an output parser and chaining the prompt, the LLM, and the output parser together. And then we do chain.invoke to be able to get the response back. So next slide, please. Okay, lastly, there are two ways to do the Flutter integration with LangChain. The first one through a LangServe by using the REST APIs. And the other one is using the LangChain Dart package. And I think this is all about LangChain. And thank you.
You finish? Finish, Mahinur?
Yes.
Go ahead, Shivan.
Yeah, I had to ask one thing that I was unclear about is this LangChain. We are using the pre-trained model to enter our own data and generate the response, or we are using like our own data only that we have trained and on that we are adding some data. Like that part I was unclear about.
Yes, you don't have to train the model or anything. You just, for example, if you have some PDFs, you want to ask the model about these kinds of PDFs or databases. So the model, these PDFs are loaded into embeddings and saved into the vector stores, and then the model just retrieves these data and the answer to your questions from these vector stores. So it doesn't involve any training of any kind. You just include the data you want, and it will be saved in the vector stores, and the model will understand these data through the embeddings and the context of your data. So is this clear?
So basically the model, yeah. So basically the model would be using its own pre-trained data. For example, we are using Gemma. It has some particular like 7 billion parameters. It will be using that pre-trained data along with something we have provided to generate the answers. Is that correct?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So now the point is to have a short discussion. I'm pretty sure it's going to be short, but so let me hear my opinion and then Josh and Vedan opinions. Mahinur asked us to use LangChain in their project. We prefer contributors to use their own coding abilities, not using third-party platforms like this one of LangChain for a couple of reasons, at least. The one main reason is that LangChain is, I would say, is an established project, but there are moments and that you use some IPAs that at some point are deprecated. The projects are just leave behind. They don't no longer exist. This is not the case of LangChain. I understand that this is going to be an established project, but also the point is that you just take this library, this tool, and then you do not learn a lot of things that you have to learn by yourself to make the project. So it simplifies your work. Maybe for you when you're a professional developer, and this will be a decision of your group, of your manager or whatever, to use that kind of tools, external tools. But at this moment, if you use that, you just simply get rid of coding too many things that we believe that this is not good for you, because we believe that you have to have a learn path. You have to learn how to do the things and not to use that high-level abstractions. So we are going to allow Mahinur to use LangChain, but I'm just asking, before I will ask Josh and Vedan opinions, and I'm going to open for all of you contributors. What is your opinion on this, Josh?
I think it would be much better to have a learning curve first than rather to actually be exposed to an API that already does everything for you.
Ben.
I think with Grok, it's okay because Grok also provides JSON output, but with Gemini, in some cases, it does not provide JSON outputs. So I think in that case, the LangChain would be helpful for output passing. Other than that, I don't think there's any use case for that.
Good point.
Apart from output passing.
I didn't remember that. You're right. Good point. So, Open Mike, what is your point of view with this Manas about using other tools?
I think like if it is possible that using Gemma itself we are able to get the same functionality, like as mentioned by Mentor Vedan, that the issue for JSON, if that is not an issue when using the core functionality itself, then it is fine if we use direct LLMs.
Rohit.
So I think that Grok API would give us the required things, and I didn't think LangChain. I would use LangChain.
Okay, Siddhar.
I think currently it is okay to like stick on like Gemini, but if we require any fine tuning or further requirement, then LangChain will be better.
And what's your opinion, Siddhar, of using the tool? I mean, do you prefer to code the things by yourself, or do you like to use that kind of external high-level tools?
Like if there is a tool that I cannot write myself and it is already well stable, then I will use like a third-party tool. Otherwise, coding myself will be also.
Good point. Normal point. Aritra, we know you are here. Say hello. Open your camera if you're there. Open your camera.
Hello.
We want to see your face, man.
Is it visible?
No, you are not visible.
I'm facing a little bit issues on my computer, so I'm not sure if my okay, it's visible now.
So hi Aritra. Aritra is here.
Thank you so much.
But as you know, today's meet is about artificial intelligence projects. Aritra's project is the I'm gonna say it in a funny word: super liquid galaxy controller. Super. So this that doesn't means Aritra that you don't implement this artificial intelligence thing in your project, because it will be fantastic if at some point in the middle of July, Ryan gives you some code that you can add to the Super Liquid Galaxy controller to use with artificial intelligence voices.
Of course, I mean, AI is the driving force in many of the apps now we are developing. So I don't think there is any way of avoiding integrating API into your application now.
But the point is that
AI
your
does
application by default is not focused on AI. Your application, your project selected, your proposal is not about AI specifically. But I am saying that
Indeed, but many features could be enhanced greatly using AI. So I do plan on using them if time allows.
Perfect. But at least think that you have to implement voices from Ryan because he will give you
Yes, of course.
the code, something like, "Ping, I was ready. We hope. Ryan, are you feeling the pressure?"
Perhaps.
Okay, so again, Mahinur, you are allowed to use LangChain, and if any of you also understand that this is needed, but we don't have, as mentors of you, we don't have a clear path on this because we will prefer that you do the code by yourself. But Vedant has a very good point that the return of the groks is already made in JSON, so it's better for you. So the other question I have noted, I don't know if we have many others, was the coordinate thing. So guys,
Yes. So
oh,
yes. So I was stating that instead of requesting for coordinates from an LLM, we could instead ask for places, the names of places, and search them in Google Earth itself via the terminal. So I think that would be faster.
well, it would be using two calls instead of one. But if you use a LLM model, you also will have not two calls, but a pre-made prompt. The trick, what is the trick? Is that imagine the user requests you something, and of course the user is not gonna request you write in the prompt, give me the coordinates back because we have to paint this on the Liquid Galaxy or on the map. So the point is that you add another prompt to the prompt of the user. That is, it's something like pre-prompt. We call this technology. Saying, please attach in a JSON file with this format all the coordinates of possible cities name in this prompt, and you just attach this prompt to the user's prompt. The user do not see it, except you are going to show the prompt on the screen. But you always request the coordinates, and also you can request it in JSON format directly if you want JSON. But you can tell the system to return. It's a matter of the art of prompting. You can make a three lines prompt with a fine-tuned question, and then the model will return you the solution in whatever file you want. This can be made, but also if you use the regular standard Google Maps, Google Earth API, then you have to make a call to the LLM, and then you have to make a call to the other Google Earth place, and then use both returns. Is that right, Vedant? What you're saying?
No, I meant something different. I meant that instead of asking for coordinates to the LLM, let's say Gemini or Gemma, okay, because I don't believe that they will be able to give accurate coordinates. I mean, maybe, but I doubt the accuracy. So instead of taking the coordinates, we could instead take the names of places and just query them into Google Earth. So we are only sending one API request to the LLM, and the second API request is to Google Earth. So it won't take much time. So we are sending actually only one API request, which will be time taking.
Well, I think it's more or less. Go ahead, Mahinur.
So I have a comment to say about this too. Well, I think I agree with Mentor Vedant about the accuracy of the coordinates, but I think also LangChain can be useful in this case because if we get the response from the model about the places, we can use the agent tooling for the searching about the coordinates from the internet and return this once and return into the KMLs and into the Liquid Galaxy.
Go, Rohit.
So I would agree with Mentor Vedant because I was trying to implement this one. So what I've done is like I've took a prompt from the user. Let's say if we want to explore a place, and then I have reprompted it and asked Gemini to give a list of the places, and I then extract those places in a separate array, and then I have passed that array in the Liquid Galaxy search functionality, and then it will show all the places accordingly. So without using the coordinates, I am able to find the places.
So I would say that you can use whatever technologies you want. I mean, if you want to use the another call to the Google API, regular API, or if you want to use LangChain, I mean, of course, remember, you have to put information on the Liquid Galaxy, so you need coordinates to place the whatever information needs, a point, a line, or whatever. So you need coordinates always. So it's up to you. Just talk with your mentor. Go ahead, Vedan.
Yes, so I was saying in cases where we want to search for a location, we do not necessarily need coordinates. We can also search it with the name of the place in Google Earth. So that's what I was saying.
Yeah, of course. You mean that you send only the name of the place.
Yes. So let's say, for example, if we want to visualize Paris, so instead of getting the coordinates from the large language model about the places in Paris, let's say there is a restaurant, then we instead use the name of the restaurant as the query string. And as Rohit said, that has been helpful for him instead of asking for coordinates. So that would be helpful and also time saving.
Shivan.
Yeah, I had this question from Mentor Vedant. Like, since you have suggested that we should be searching places from the Google Earth instead of doing it from LLM model. Although I do agree that the accuracy of LLM model would be low in that case, but wouldn't the time be increased if we were to ask from Google Earth, like the place we like, let's say Amritsar. Okay, we are searching that place, so the Google Earth would be searching for that place, right? Instead, if we are providing the location, it would just go to that location and do that. So I was asking if it would take extra time for it to search for the location and go to that instead of just going to that.
So we would rather compromise on a little bit of latency with Google Earth instead of compromising on the accuracy, right? So let's say if we request for coordinates from a large language model and we get wrong coordinates, we cannot do that. So the trade-off is that it will take a very few milliseconds, if you ask me, right? Because anyway, the Google Earth has to be connected to the internet. So searching a place is not that time consuming.
More comments? Other comments regarding other situations from today's meeting? Everything is clear. Vedan, go ahead.
Yes, I had something to mention. So anyone while using Docker, please install CUDA in the Docker environment as well, because a lot of times what happens is you install CUDA in your local environment and you run your Docker. It will run on CPU, even if you have CUDA installed in your local environment. So please install it on your Docker environment as well. And when you're Dockerizing it, in the Docker file, also install CUDA. And while running the Docker, also use the GPU flag in order to run it, okay, and add it to your documentation as well, okay. Otherwise, there's no point, right? Because the Docker will run on CPU. Then there's no point. It will not be fast enough. So please do that.
Do me a favor regarding this, Vedan. Send me an email with exactly the same text you have said, because I want to add this to our internal manual of the Liquid Galaxy. Just the CUDA install, the flag for this run on GPU and whatever. Send me 3 or 4 phrases, okay?
Sure.
Thanks. Any other questions? We are 1.5 hours on the meet. Yash, please.
Yeah, so I just wanted to add that always save all of the APIs keys to the environment. Just use environment variables. Do not just open source that part. All right.
Please,
so
please. So guys, again, you're a young persons, you're woman and but you remember what a DVD is? A DVD, the disc. So the question is that one. So DVD was the cinema industry was totally against launching DVDs, because it's going to be a perfect digital copy of the movies, and they don't want it. But then the DVD consortium said, no, don't worry that we are going to encrypt the movies in that way that no one can copy the movies. Never. Perfect. At the very beginning, for playing a DVD, you need a DVD player that was a huge electronics that you insert the disc and then you see the movie on the television. Fantastic. But at some point, the PCs were fast enough and can handle enough fast decoding that they make a software that decodes your DVD in a DVD player for PC. This appeared, DVD player for PC in an internal slot. Then several companies in the world develop a software that plays the DVDs. And of course, those companies have to agree with the consortium to handle the keys because all the DVDs were encrypted. So, as I said before, what happened? It happened that some guy from some company, this is the story, some company that developed a DVD player software leave their key inside the code in an open way, open view. So suddenly all the industry was broken because everyone was able to decrypt, copy and decrypt a DVD. So this is the moment that movies piracy started to be a huge problem for the industry because some guy do not remember Josh Wars. Please do not open source. That is a very good phrase. Yes, do not open source your key. There are especially developed bots hanging around GitHub code looking for keys only. Okay, no more questions. Mahinor, what time is it here in Egypt? Mahinor, what time is it?
It's 6:37.
It's so early in the afternoon. What are you gonna do after this? Are you gonna hard study still, or what are you gonna do?
I have a mentor with. I have a meeting with Mentor Claudia next. The next step.
Bedan, what were?
Yes, so I was asking, have you guys been pushing your code to your to LG's GitHub repositories?
GSoC has not started. GSoC has not started. Remember this. GSoC is not started. They can start if they want, but it's not a must. We know that Manas has been working.
Yes, so
working. Yeah. Oh.
So I was saying, when you will be sending your APKs weekly, I think that would be a good time to push. Okay, so it would not be a frequent push. It would be like once a week whenever you are sending an APK. So in case there is a problem, the mentors can have an updated version of your code. Okay. And you have all the permissions, I believe. You have admin permission. So you can send a pull request and also accept, merge it yourself. Okay.
Very good. So people, team, thank you very much for staying today. I hope you don't have too much doubts. I will leave this video for the community at Discord for people that cannot attend today. Thank you, Aritra, also for coming. Thank you all. And Shiven and Bedan, let's go out of this meet, but we will come back in 1 minute. Only Shiven, Bedan, and me, okay? Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.